Hey, it's Chris here. We're back in the workshop again. It's messy, I'm going to be honest with you. And we're going to go and rough through it. We got a product review. This one was actually provided by the company. This is the Cinoton LED barn light. Really excited about this light. So if you are interested, you already know about this light from the thumbnail and the description. If you want to watch out about this, stick around, stay tuned. So like I said, we're looking at the Cinoton LED barn light. Let's get it out here on the bench. We're going to look at it. I'll get you guys in a bird's eye view. You can look at it, what comes in this box, how this works, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do to test this out and see what this light is all about. So we got it on the workbench here. This is the Cinoton LED barn light, and this is what you get. You get instructions plus specs. You get a bag of goodies for mounting, and you get the light. Now, this light here is plastic. The shell, I guess the lamp globe, and this is all metal. This feels like it's made out of like tin, like a somewhat stamped steel of some sort, light stamped steel. Now, these will get hot with LEDs, so you have to be careful where you put these. And like I say multiple times, disclaimer, if you do not feel comfortable doing something with electrical, do not do it. Get a licensed person. Codes in my area may be different than codes in your area. So what I do in this video, do not take it as a how-to. Follow up with local electricians to keep everything enforced properly. So with that being said, let's move on and talk about it. We're talking about specs. It says right here on the paperwork here, the model number is WL166. Maximum power going out is 100 watts. Remember that whenever you are wiring this into areas. 100 watts may not, you don't think it's a lot, but it could be too much on some of your electrical. So max input current 1 amp, 110 volts. Input voltage 110. Remember that this is not good for 240, 220. Across the pond, this is, I guess, for America, Canada, all those guys that we do the 110. So 50, 60 hertz. We're don't worry about that. Same thing on the box. This is what the box, it says right here, the specifications. We're looking at a 5000K color temperature. Looks like it's in the mid-range. So it's like a white light, really bright white light. Now, let's quit talking about the instructions, which follow those if you are going to do it. Please follow it to a T. I am not responsible. Big disclaimer. There'll be you probably already watched the disclaimer at the beginning. I'm not responsible. You do your stuff. You take and do everything at a risk if you do it yourself. Now, out of the way, we got a package here that comes with anchors for drywall. I personally, this thing feels a little bit heavier than I would put in drywall. You have 3 screws for that drywall anchors and 3 nuts for the wiring nuts, of course. The light, it's the back. The globe is plastic. It is screwed right into the metal. I like that design. Fins for heat dissipating, really nice. Let's turn it over. You can see there's a lot of LEDs down inside there. This thing, I bet you it's gonna be pretty bright. I haven't really messed with it yet. Now, this is the bottom. These screws are Phillips. They screw into metal to metal. You don't have to worry about, as long as you're not going crazy, you're not going to strip them out. These are PH3 Phillips screws. We'll take them off. And I'll show you a couple things here. 1 and 2. This covers off. This is metal. You see there's a snap out right here where you can punch out, put your wires through with the nuts to hold it in place. There's also one on the side there if you needed to. Now, this did have a picture on Amazon for a mount, like a bent pole mount, and I wanted that to come with it to show this, and it said sold separately. I reached out to Cinoton, the rep that talked to me, and said, hey, I would like to have the pole to marry everything together. They said that pole is not made until maybe the end of 2023, if not 24, but in the thing it says sold separately. So they say it's sold separately. They don't have it. That's through the emails that I have. Now, getting back to this is just metal on metal. I'm going to be honest, I would love to have seen like a rubber seal of some sort right here just to keep it dry. Whenever it comes with electrical, you never can be too careful, especially if you're out and it's raining down where you mounted it, it might drip down in. Or if you're inside of a building and you mount this in here, because it's called a barn light. They show pictures of it being in a barn. And if you have this where this is open, available, spiders, other animals, you know, like little bugs and stuff can get in there and short stuff out. So, of course, you have your 3 wires for your 3-prong, so you can have your hot, neutral, and your ground. You have that. And that's basically it. Very light wire because LEDs don't need heavy gauge wire. Now, I don't have any of the knockout pieces, plus it's dark out right now tonight. I can't mount this, and I'm not ready to mount this. We'll put it that way. So whenever I'm ready, I'm going to bring everybody back and you can see how everything goes.
As you can tell, installation is really easy. 3 screws into the holes. I'm basically making sure working 12 foot high. I'm very cautious, safe. One at a time, I screw it in. Once I get those 3 in there, I get them nice and tight, and I can move on to the wiring. Now, wiring is pretty simple. 3 wires, and you basically put those wires together. As you can see here, it's kind of hard to see, but we're wiring everything together, pretty simple, and everything will tuck back up into the base of that light. Once everything is wired together, you can then put the plate back on with the 2 screws, making sure the tabs and everything are lined up solid. Now, how I installed this, I used 14-3 electrical wire into conduit that was threaded, but it is perfectly fine to do it other ways as long as you are in with your codes.
So it's after 9 o'clock at night. This is the Cinoton light that is shining down, and I think it's doing a really good job. It's actually lighting up about a 40-foot area at about 12 foot in the air. I think it did really nice. I think it's doing good, and I put it outside because I want to test it in wet conditions. It does say wet. It rained this afternoon. This light, I have it hooked up as a different way than what they a lot of times showed in the pictures. It said indoor and outdoor, and I have it hooked up actually to a dusk to dawn sensor, which is right here. I'm not going to go into a video about how I hooked everything up. This is not a how-to for how to wire this up, but it is a review on the light itself. The light was pretty simple to hook up, pretty simple to install. The only problem I noticed was me putting it on a pole directly without the rod that they claimed that's sold separately, but they don't make, is kind of a bummer because of the fact that when you're putting against a round object screws don't get totally tight as well as you want to. It doesn't wrap around. So if I do suggest, if you are going to do a pole situation, put it on a board, screw the board onto there, and do it that way so it's flat. It does nice. It's clean white light. It's attracting all the bugs, of course, but it's doing well. I think it's something that's nice long term. We're going to be able to tell if this is going to hold up or not. Now, I think that for the price point, I think when I last checked, it was like $40. Plus, there's a promo code. I think it's like a 20% off promo code. I may be wrong. Sometimes the stuff changes on Amazon where it's listed. Check them out if you are interested in something like this light. Check them out whenever you can. I like it. I think it's nice. I did have a couple concerns about it, but so far everything's been doing really well. That being said, catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe out there, and God bless.